Yes, yes, yes. Good morning, Grand Rising, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Akana Nation, we're excited to have you here this morning. It's a good day. I thank God for it. That's an old James Cleveland song, and it is a good day. So we want to welcome you here. We're excited to be here every Tuesday because we get to huddle up with our coach, our teacher, our minister, our pastor, our motivator. He walks in all those different hats from time to time. You just never know what's God going to bless us with because we're blessed to have him. Let me tell you, we're blessed to have him as our VP of Training and Development. And he's known all over the country, being used all over the country, being a service to so many different entities, from businesses to ministries to everyone that needs to recreate and redesign where their direction is going for whatever their vision or their goal is. And that's what he's busy doing, as well as being on TikTok with his daughter. So it's amazing. So listen, guys, receive, get your pen, get your paper. Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Coach Dan Johnson. Coach Dan, are you there? I've got you unmuted. There you go.
Absolutely. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Dr. Roz in the building, y'all. Listen, we so much appreciate all that you are and all that you do. And if I may just take a moment of privilege and speak this over your life, may the blessings of the Lord make you rich and add no sorrow. And may the seeds that you have sown as you cross over into this 2025 year, God will show you the field that's designed to yield you your harvest. I just personally believe that whenever seed is in the ground and is sown in good soil and is cultivated by work, then that seed is is going to yield a harvest. And the blessing that we have, for those of you that are listening in this moment, the blessing that we have is that sometimes we sow seed in places where we will not reap. And when you sow seed from a spiritual perspective, here we go. When you sow seed based on obedience, when you sow seed based on how you are led to give, then God obligates himself. He obligates himself to show you the field that's designed to yield you your harvest. In other words, you'll give into places where you will not reap, but you'll also reap into places that you did not give. And you know what? Since we're talking about that today, and that wasn't the thought, but that's what just came to mind as I heard your voice, Dr. Roz. Because Dr. Roz, you have given to so many people. You have given your time, you've given your talent, you've given your sacrifice, you've given your loyalty. And those of you that are listening in this moment, I want you to grasp hold of this if this bear witness with your heart. You've given your time, you've given your talent, you've given your loyalty to people, to entities, to things. And I want you to know that it seems like at times that those that you have given to, the law of reciprocity has not come back to you. But I want you to look to the hill from which cometh your help, because help is coming to you. And every seed that you've sown, I believe, God, that is going to yield an increase in this next season of your life. And since we're discussing seed, what I'll do this morning is I'm going to talk to you about the power of giving. I'm going to talk to you about the power of giving, the power of the seed. Because one of the things I understand is I understand that the economy of the kingdom, the economy of the supernatural, is an agricultural economy. Whenever you begin to think about wealth, we must understand that the number one resource that God has given humanity for wealth is land. He has given you land. And therefore he's giving you land to yield increase. The Bible says that when he looked at the ground, he said there was not a man to till the soil. And so you must understand that agriculture, agricultural principles are also wealth principles. And in the kingdom, we call it sowing seed. In the business world, we call it making an investment. In the kingdom, we call it yielding a harvest. In the business world, we call it yielding a return. Are y'all seeing this? And so whatever you do with your seed is going to determine how that seed grows. So in other words, understand that the seed carries an internal multiplier. The seed carries an internal multiplier. Y'all, let me say this: your investment, when invested in the right entity or in the right thing, carries an internal multiplier. Y'all, for example, whenever you get ready to sow seed, all seeds come from a packet. And on the packet, there's this fully developed image. There's a fully developed picture as to what the contents of that packet can produce. So when you go shopping, and for those of you that deal in agriculture and you plant seeds and you go shopping, you look at the picture and you read the name that's on the packet, because whatever's in the content of that packet, as small of a seed that it is, it has the power to yield in its full maturation that image. It multiplies. In business, when I look at what business I'm going to invest my seed in or my money in, I'm looking at how it's going to multiply. When we invest, I was meeting with my financial advisor the other day, and he's managing a portion of my portfolio and I manage the other. The reason why he manages a portion and I manage the other is because I have a high risk tolerance. And a high risk tolerance says that I'm willing to take the greater risk, come on, to yield the greater return. Whereas their business model is more of a conservative approach. And if they can yield 10 to 15% return, which means multiply my investment by 10 to 15%, then they are doing well. Well, my personal portfolio that I manage, it multiplies. It's currently, I think, at about 45 to 55% returns, whereas theirs is about 12%. Now, in investing in the market, 12% gains is good. You being able to multiply your investment and gain 12% is good. 45 to 55% is great. Now, what is the difference? The difference is your risk tolerance. The greater the risk, the greater the reward. Now, as we transition to the kingdom and we deal with seed and how we sow seed, what is the difference? It's your faith tolerance. See, faith in the kingdom is nothing more than risk in the business world. Are you willing to trust God with the little that you have, that God has the power to multiply it? And the truth is, you're talking to somebody that was homeless. The truth is, as some of you may know, you're talking to somebody that slept in cars. The truth is, you're talking to somebody right now, you're listening to somebody that went weeks without food to eat. And even after going weeks without food to eat, even after sleeping in cars, I developed this passion for helping those. As I grew older, I always said, when I get older, I'm going to help those that look like me, that suffered like me, that went through what I went through, and I'm going to activate it. And I didn't know it at the time, but I was activating it with a seed. So when we started our Thanksgiving giveaway, I started out with 5 families. Shortly thereafter, being homeless with no food to eat, I started sowing. Because when you sow seed, it's not about what you have, because what you have may be small. It's about how you sow. There's a principle that says, he that scattereth his seed, he that spread his seed out, he that shall be made fat and yet increase. That word "and yet increase" suggests that no matter what's happening around him, and yet he's going to increase because he has seed in the ground. There's another principle that says that God gives seed to the sower. Watch this business principle that's being directed right here from the text. God gives seed to the sower. So that means the more I sow my seed, the more seed I receive. And so for me, I'm getting to a realm. My goal is to get to a realm where I live off my seed and I never have to touch my harvest. Transfer that into the business world. I'm teaching my children to get to the point where they can live off the interest, which is the harvest, and never touch the principle. Are y'all seeing this? And so there's a reason why every major corporation has a non-for-profit arm to it, because they are working the principles of giving. I was speaking in Atlanta, and one of the things I said, that when you work the principles, the PLES, you don't even have to know God to work the principles, and the principles are going to work because the principles carry its own integrity. But wow, what if you know the principal? What if you know the God of the principles? Then he now obligates himself to assure that those principles are activated in your life. What do you mean, principles? Well, here's another principle. It says, give, and it will be given back to you, pressed down, shaken together, running over. Shall men give unto your bosom? But you got to give. Here's the deal. If you never take the contents of the seed that's in the packet and sow it into the ground, you will never see harvest. You'll never see it multiplied in your life. That's why there's another biblical context that says that he that withholdeth the corn, he that withholdeth the seed, he that holds on to the seed, tends to poverty. Because most people don't sow seed by way of faith. They don't give by way of faith. They give by way of convenience. They give by way of what they have instead of what they desire. I remember when I was younger and I was making about $2,000 a week about 20 years ago, literally, probably 20 years ago. And I said to myself that I want to get to the point where I'm earning $5,000 a week. So for those of us that are tithers, if you're making $2,000 a week, you give $200 a week. But I wanted to make $5,000 a week. So instead of giving $200, I started giving $500. And within 90 days, I was making $5,000 a week. Yes, because I was sowing the seed and then I was cultivating the land by which I was sowing. Are y'all getting this? I was working. I remember I was in South Africa many years ago. And at the time I needed my rent paid. I needed my bills paid. I was struggling a little bit, but I had gotten this invite to go to Africa to minister and to speak. And I raised $6,000 US. And I believe I heard God say you can't leave South Africa with one dime. I don't know who this is for. I don't know why I'm sharing it. I know why I'm sharing it because some of you, all you got to do is sow a seed to begin to unlock the door to prosperity in your life. All you got to do is give to something greater than yourself to begin to unlock the door of prosperity and wealth in your life. Yeah. And so I was in South Africa, and I believe I heard God say, don't leave South Africa with one red cent. Literally. But God, I have a need. My rent is due. My bills are due. I'm behind it. And I came here because I was believing that I was going to raise the money to do. And he said, don't leave with one red cent. And let me tell you, it was hard for me to do it, y'all. But I did not leave South Africa with one red cent. I sowed the seed of all 100% of that $6,000 back into the land, back into the soil. You can't make this up. Within 30 days, I had signed a contract for $175,000, $150,000 by which they gave me $75,000 up front. And that contract will yield me over the next 6 months. That contract will yield me almost $500,000. You gotta be willing to sow seed. So I took the risk. But this time when I took the risk, it was activated by faith. So I activated a seed by faith and God multiplied it. I want you guys to become intentional in being a blessing to somebody other than yourself and other than your immediate family. I want you to work this power principle. Giving is a power principle for every business owner, for every entrepreneur. It's a power principle. And I did a post as I get ready to close this out. I did a post on Facebook and I said, when it comes to my daily expenses, when it comes to my daily expenses, when it comes to my entertainment and my social life, I always consider the cost. I always look at how this fits within a budget. But when it comes to giving, when it comes to sowing into the lives of people as I'm led to sow, I don't consider the cost because I'm not obligated. I'm not the one that's obligated to yield a return. God is. When I'm investing in a market, I don't consider the cost, I consider the principle. When I'm sowing into people's lives, I never consider the cost, I consider the principle. So this morning when I woke up, we're doing our Grandma's Help for Christmas. So I put out on Facebook, I want to bless 10 more grandmothers. We already got about 50 already. I want to bless 10 more grandmothers. And bless them for Christmas by helping to provide Christmas for their grandchildren because their parents are in drugs or in jail or dead. And so as I get ready to go, I didn't get on this line with this in mind, but I'm here now. I'm out here. So as I get ready to go, I want to challenge 10 of you that's on this line to activate this giving principle. I want to challenge you. Go to tecgives.org right now, tecgives.org, and sponsor a grandmother for $150. I challenge 10 of you to do it. And I believe, God, that as you sow this seed, according to the principles of sowing and reaping, that God will multiply it. That God will multiply it. I believe it. I believe it. The power principle of giving, tecgives.org. Listen. This type of conversation usually is a tough conversation to have. I wasn't intending to have it, but we was out there, and so I just stayed out there since I was already out there. I want y'all to pray for us as we are going to shop for all of those grandmothers. We're starting to shop today. We got a big party that's going to happen on this coming Saturday, and then we're going to be delivering, surprising 10 grandmothers. 10 grandmothers we're going to deliver to their home on Christmas morning. They have no idea that they are going to win it. So y'all help me out. tecgives.org. Pray for me. I fly out at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning to Bermuda. I'll be in Bermuda there on an assignment, and then I'll be right back here on Friday night at about midnight so we can be ready for our Grandma's Help for Christmas on Saturday morning. It's always a plum, pleasing pleasure, more than a privilege. Thank y'all so much, and I'm going to yield back to you, Dr. Ross. That's tecgives.org. Prosper and be blessed.
Thank you so much, Coach Dan, and I appreciate all that you gave and all that you said, and those specific things directly to me. I received them completely, wholeheartedly. Listen, guys, that's so powerful. Everything we just heard was so powerful. Especially, we sometimes often see people that are successful and succeeding, and they have more than we have, and they're not saved or they're not serving God. But He just said they can do the principles and not even know God because it's a principle. So we've got a couple of areas where we can use these principles. You just heard him, tecgibbs.org. And we also have with Tracy Bolton. If you need her phone number to be able to send to her Zelle for all that she's doing for the children and for the women who are in dire need of assistance, definitely let's give. It should always be the season for giving, but we call this the season for giving. The giving is seasonal all the time. So have a great Akana kind of day, everybody. It's Tuesday. We've got Dr. Betty this evening at 7 p.m. You want to jump on that call, keep learning, keep learning, keep learning about all of our wonderful new products that we have that are saving and changing and helping so many people. So until next time, till tomorrow, right? We'll see you. Have a great Akana kind of day. Bye for now.